Hey folks, and welcome back to Bangkok. Yeah, the International Motor Show here in Bangkok. When we last left off from the previous episode, we were just getting ready to leave the Impact Arena here, home of the Motor Show. I'll put a link in the upper right-hand corner in case you missed it, but it was a good show and a lot of fun. But they did get a little rainstorm, a little afternoon rain squall, created a little bit of a mess around the arena, some flooded streets. But that will not hold us up or hamper us. We are on our way to Minburi. A subscriber there has invited us to his restaurant, so let's get on through these floodwaters and up to Minburi. So we made it through the traffic from the motor show. It took about an hour to get here. We're in Minburi, so it's a northwest suburb of Bangkok. And we're at Delhi by Delisia. So the gentleman who owns this and his wife, they're subscribers, invited and said, hey, next time you're in Bangkok, stop by. So guess what? We're in Bangkok. We're stopping by. So we'll go in. It looks like a really nice place. I already see a pizza oven out front. So more or less going to be Italian food. And we'll go in and try out the specialities. I ordered some ravioli. V's getting a spaghetti with seafood and some shrimp appetizer for like a starter. I've got the soup. I got a minestrone soup. Good menu selection. They had a pumpkin soup. I was tempted to get that. But they had meat, they had steaks, they had lamb chops, they had all sorts, lots of pizza. They had lasagna, a tortellini, just about everything you'd expect at an Italian restaurant. So the owner and his wife were so gracious and nice, and they gave us some bread with it's like a tomato, like bruschetta, but the bread hasn't been. Usually that's baked, but the bread they bake here, it's so fresh. They've got about a loaf outside, so they're doing a lot of good here. V's got a glass of wine. I'm going to try to refrain. I think we're going to drive home after this. I got a long drive to get home, so I don't think I'm going to be having any wine, but we'll look at the food when it comes, and I'll give you a look around the place. It's a big restaurant here. So that's a good thing about Bangkok. I never would have believed this neighborhood as we were coming in. We were out here before at the auto auction. That's probably about a mile away, I guess. And it struck me as kind of like a semi-industrial business bedroom community kind of suburb. I didn't think you'd find something like this, but if you're out this way, he does about a split, maybe 60%, 40% foreigners and Thais. So he probably has more Thai customers than he does Western expat customers that live here. But you just never know what you find in these different neighborhoods of Bangkok. Always a pleasant surprise. So in the back of the restaurant, they've got a whole nother dining room back here. I guess for parties, special events, or maybe overflow diners on special days like holidays or whatever. The owner and his wife there, his name is Patrick, and it's all very authentic Italian here. I'll start with my minestrone soup, but the farther we got into it, he's actually from Switzerland, I believe, but really has a flair for the Italian cuisine. And V's starter is coming out. Look at this. What is that? 7 big shrimp there. I got to tell you, I think there's more shrimp on that appetizer or starter platter
than there are in some mains that I've ordered. I've ordered mains that maybe only had 4 or 5 shrimp that size. So she's happy nonetheless. I'll have to help her eat those a little bit along with my minestrone soup. So yeah, she didn't waste any time digging into that shrimp and offered me the first bite. So yeah, it melted in your mouth, that shrimp, I tell you what. So for the mains, I ordered the ravioli. Now, I've had good and bad experiences with ravioli in Italian restaurants here. It's one of my favorite dishes. Sometimes it's cooked a little too al dente, but this place, perfect, spot on. And the flavor of the sauce. Now, those are not meatballs. Those are, I guess, like fried spinach and cheese balls. Fantastic. Now, she just had a basic pasta and a seafood pasta, but they made it spicy for her. I think a little olive oil and spice seasoning on there, so she loved that as well. So they did us up right here. Good looking out.
So while we're both stuffed, on top of all that stuff, we had a pizza as well. That's kind of their signature item here, the pizza. So it wouldn't be right to not try that. I said, we can't eat it all, but we'll take it home in a box. It won't go to waste. But great. A thinly sliced salted beef, cured beef on top of that pizza, just paper thin. And the crust, very thin. It's probably the closest crust I've had to the actual pizza in Italy. I spent some time in Italy, and that's about exactly how they make it. So very nice of Patrick and his wife to invite us here. If you're in town or up here in Minburi, stop by and see him, say hello, and try a pizza or something. But I just noticed right across the street, I'll show you, there's a Pop's breakfast burgers and ice cream. It looks like a little 1950s diner in there. Black and white tiles and red and white vinyl booths and that kind of stuff. It's a small store, but it sure looks reminiscent of something I'd see in the U.S. So that's part and parcel of the PP Hotel Bangkok, which is also right across the street. So a lot going on in this quiet little block here. It's almost dark. We've had a long day, so we'll probably head it home. But great day, great meal, and we'll see what we're gonna go do next.
So big thanks to Patrick and his wife. We had a lovely evening there. The food was fantastic, and look at that. We got a parting gift to take home, one of those nice loaves of bread, which I believe is over half gone at the point while I'm editing this. But anyway, back in Pattaya, we made it back. Another subscriber, an entirely different subscriber, messaged me and said, hey, just got into town and he's at this budget hotel and he really likes it and it's great and he wanted to meet me, and he said, hey, why don't you share this with your viewers? And I said, you know what? Yeah, I think a lot of my viewers do like to see good values. That's one of the things I try to bring. So we are at the Grand Day and Night Hotel, right on Soi Day Night, right behind Tukam, the big, I don't know, electronics supermart or mall. Anyway, South Pattaya, lots to do in South Pattaya, but this place didn't look like a budget hotel when I walked in. But at $5.99 a night, I think it kind of qualifies. I mean, it kind of had all the trimmings of maybe 1,000 baht a night place. One small deficiency I'll point out later, but look at this big atrium type design. So when you're in your room and you come out, that's what you walk into, this big atrium, and of course you take the elevators down to the lobby. But back in the room, first thing I see is a nice big couch, sofa. You don't see that every day. Great big bed there, large and in charge, and all the amenities that you want, even a hot water kettle, water boiler, and a nice big size refrigerator. So I was beginning to see why he claimed this would be a good value. The view, that's just maybe the one deficiency. No balcony, although there is a kind of a miniature little balcony there, but you can't really get out there on it. And a partial view, but the bathroom was brand new. It looked like the whole place had been recently remodeled. I think this is an older property. I doubt it's been upkept like that. This is probably a remodeling. Even the air conditioner on the wall was new. The wardrobe looked brand new. In the wardrobe, you find a safety box, a hair dryer, and hangers. And here again, it all looked brand new. I briefly tried the bed. I would describe it as medium, not too hard, not too soft, just medium. But great view from up here on the 7th floor. And the room was large, modern, clean. With the sofa, that's an extra benefit. I think it qualifies for that price range. Definitely, I think it's a good deal. Now, in the elevator, I noticed the restaurant menu. It looked like the budget prices carry over there. For a hotel restaurant, they're good prices. They're they compete with maybe street carts at those prices. So the Grand Day Night Hotel, not bad, not too shabby. So the next night, Saturday, we decided to have a little evening out, and our first stop would be Patrick's Steakhouse down here on what I call Steakhouse Row, Soy Diana and 2nd Road. And there's the menu, lots to choose from. Tonight, though, I will not be getting a steak. They have one of my favorite things, and it's that burger there with the black bun. Don't let the black bun turn you off. It's super soft, and it's good. We'll take a look at that burger in a minute here, but V actually got 2 separate appetizers for her meal. So both shrimp, one cold, like a shrimp cocktail, and the other hot, almost like a shrimp scampi like she had at the Italian place the couple nights before. So that's a lot of shrimp there. Two starters makes one entree, I guess. Our new friend Patty over here, he got steamed vegetables and a chicken breast. He's an interesting guy. I'll tell you about him in a minute. But back to this burger. Look at that guy. Now, that is like, I believe, ribeye steak, 200 grams of ribeye steak on top of like a 250-gram burger. And any doubts you have about how that goes together, and a little bit of pesto on there as well, any doubts you have about how that goes together are immediately erased as soon as you bite into it. Wow, what a bite. It's like biting into like just a super burger with that steak on top. But V enjoyed hers. I think everybody enjoyed. I've never had a bad meal at Patrick's. When people come to town and say, hey, when can I get a good steak, or where can I get a good steak, I always send them to Patrick's. So our new friend Patty over here, that's him there in the white shirt. His name is Patty Doyle, and he has a YouTube channel under the same name. And his whole thing is, this is his motorbike. It's an old Honda Dream, and he's ridden all over Thailand in that thing. So that's what he does. Check him out. So up on Soy Chayapun, Soy 25 off Soy Bacau, it's big speaker night, karaoke night. You can see, I don't know, almost every night, at least every week, a couple times a week, there are these great big giant speakers. They'll put them in front of businesses and they'll have karaoke. It seems to be something more for the locals than the tourists, but it generally means there's a birthday party. It could mean a grand opening, some kind of special event. And they seem to really like it. However, they're very loud and they're in the street. So the adjoining businesses, it kind of drowns out what they're doing in there. So, yeah, it can give you a headache, but it can also be a lot of fun. So V went down here and had a drink with these ladies. But we went over to Soy 7. My friend was getting a new sign put up. So there it is, brand new sign. I told you about this, I don't know, about 2-3 weeks ago in a vlog I did down Soy 7. New sign for Hedonism. Hedonism getting ready for their grand opening, maybe even as early as this week. From what I hear, these signs that you see, as nice as they look, you have to pay a tax every year, and it depends on how big they are as to how much that tax is. But anyway, it's time to get in the car and go back home, because for this episode, gotta leave it off right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.